And so our conversation today, it's all about, are you vibrant or vigilant? Very interesting topic here.
Well, you can be vibrant and vigilant,
You, well, okay.
or you can be aware, but vigilant is, to me, it's that word that you go down like a burglary. Like it's a real, are your eyes wide open? Are you actually looking at everything?
Right, right.
Not just the nun in the wheelchair. Like, are you looking at the nun in the wheelchair? Are you getting, vigilant is really present, but actually not just present and seeing it, present and seeing it and sort of storing it is what I would say. Store in your mind.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Deb.
Hi.
Hi, Deb. Hi, dear listeners. Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations. It's so fun, and we trust that you learn something, feel better, laugh. That's kind of the intention of all these conversations. When you say
That's all.
that's it,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's all. Just that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, dear listeners, if you've listened to us before, awesome and welcome back.
Woo-hoo.
And if you're new, welcome, welcome. Where have you been?
Yeah. What?
You've missed out on so much fun. We have a really good topic today, but of course they are all good topics. Otherwise, we just would not be speaking about them because it's just that simple. But before we get our conversation going, we like to do this assessment of ourselves.
Do we like to do it?
What's that?
Do we like to do it?
Do we? Well, Deb doesn't quite so much. I do. What we're doing here is we're checking in on our PEMS, on our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual well-being. I think of those as our four bodies or our four pillars of well-being. And so what we do is we rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10. So at 0, everything's just blissful, calm, peaceful, zen. And at 10, we're feeling chaotic and oh my God, and stuck and maybe sitting in the corner with our sucking our thumb, wondering what on earth to do. But here's the truth is that we all move up and down that scale. So there is no competition or right or wrong or judgment here. It's just about discerning, where are you? And sometimes just literally saying, oh, hey, I'm at a 7 and here's what's going on for me. That's enough to just start saying, okay, I claimed it, I named it, and I'm okay. I can, continue moving through the experience of this day. So all that being said, we rate ourselves now, and we encourage our listeners to rate yourself and just make a wee note, write down what number you're at, and then check in at the halfway point. There's a halfway point in our conversation, and then again, and we'll all check in at the end. Of course, the intent of our conversations is to always smoothly, gently, beautifully, calmly move you closer to that 0. So all that being said, where are you, my dear?
2.
2.
2, because I've got a little bit of a
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah.
So
2.
Deb's at a 2. I'm actually at a 1.5. I don't really have much of a sore throat or anything, just a little piece in the back of my mind sort of thinking, I want to make sure that we really do our best at helping educate, support, give some meaningful tips. And so that always kind of just puts a little bit of a pressure on me to want to be of best service in these conversations. So 1.5 for me and 2.2 for Deb. And so our conversation today, it's all about, are you vibrant or vigilant? Very interesting topic here.
Well, you can be vibrant and vigilant.
Well, okay.
Or you can be aware. But vigilant is to me, it's that word that you go down like a burglary. Like it's a real, are your eyes wide open? Are you actually looking at everything?
Right.
Not just the nun in the wheelchair. Like, are you looking at the nun in the wheelchair? Are you getting, vigilant is really present, but actually not just present and seeing it and sort of storing it is what I would say. Store in your mind. Would that be?
Yeah, I think also though, to me, and I've had many conversations with clients over the years about this, is that vigilant is like, there's a lot of stress. There's a tension in vigilance where it says, you know what, I can't relax entirely. I have to have eyes in the back of my head because I have to be at all times. So like you're saying, yes, present, but vigilance tends to be a state of saying, if I don't do this, then I'm in danger. That's where I'm coming from about the tension, is that if I don't do this at night, if I don't take in all of the details and the nuances and the vibes and the energy, then I could something will go wrong. Something I'll trip up, or I'll lose something, or things of that nature. And so that's why I was interested that you said you could be both, because I'm not sure that you could. Because being vibrant, there's an expansiveness, there's a relaxation, there's a knowing that I'm accessing my inner light and shining it, and sharing that. So even just if I feel the energy of both those words, vibrant is opening my heart, I will smile.
Vibrant's chest out, vigilant is shoulders down.
Yes.
Sneaky looking type thing.
Furtively looking, and like I said, eyes in the back of your head, thinking, oh my God, something not so good is going to happen, right?
And we know when you're vigilant, or also when you're vibrant, we know mainly when you're vigilant, you have those past stories that are so attached to you.
Precisely.
Those ancestral stories that are attaching like lint.
That's a good point. Yeah. And so is it due to an inherited story? So that means the big tip to start here is awareness. Is that vigilance? Yeah, fancy that. Indeed.
Fancy
that. So it's like, is that sense of vigilance, or that, I have to pay attention or else I'm in danger. Is that really the truth for you? Or is that something that you inherited and just continue that pattern or that mindset, right?
Yeah. Have you picked up that suitcase of vigilant worry?
Yeah, and just allowed all the lint to be stuck to you.
Yeah, and attached yourself to it.
Yeah.
I think that like the vigilant definitely feels like a burglary, like someone's taking something from you. And they have in the past, and now you just got to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right.
And I go straight to an intimate relationship, and people go, "Oh, my last 3 partners have cheated on me." You know how much I love that word, cheated on you. It's okay. My last 3 partners have cheated on me, so I can't get into another relationship. Or this new person, are they going to cheat on me? And it's that whole trust that's been broken from the last 3, or they perceive as being broken from the last 3 relationships. So now they're more vigilant, and they get into that, I'm going to say that detective mode.
Right.
you know, which can take you on a spiraling path of checking phones and are you doing this? And,
yeah,
you know,
and making up stories. Oh, they just said that word, and so I know what they're thinking.
yeah. And,
right?
and they laughed when they said that girl's name from work. And I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
Guess what? They tell you 10 other names, you just happen to attach to one, you know, and it's that private investigated vigilant, which when you get into that state, you're not being, and I'm going to say present, you're actually not going with the flow and being present. You're in spiral uncovering mode to prove
you're part of you's gone into the past to say, oh, did I miss something in the past? Did they say that word? Did they do? But also part of you going into the future saying, well, I better get this, or else that person's going to run out on me, or they're having an affair all along, and I need to be able to spot that.
Yeah, catch it sooner.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, okay, well, yeah, and I think that's just that vigilant word.
But you just said the trust word a moment ago, because I want to circle back to that too, because if you think about it, when you're being vigilant, you do not trust anything or anyone, because it's always like, well, are they saying that? Did they really mean it? The last time I heard that word or that name or that comparison, this is what was going on. So there's a definite lack of trust in yourself, trust in the other person, trust in the situation. Whereas when you're feeling vibrant, that to me has huge trust, because it's like, I'm just here. I get to shine. I get to share who I am, what I am, what I'm doing.
Just get to, it's like the wings have come out. This is me. This is
Ta-da!
Yeah. That's it. But I actually just looked up the word vigilant in the dictionary. Keeping careful watch for possible dangers or difficulties.
Yeah.
So you're instantly gone into a spiral of no trust. And then, it's changed similar words to watchful, on the lookout, observant, sharp-eyed, keen-eyed. Now, those words to me, on the lookout or observant, is not such a harsh word as vigilant.
No, exactly.
Vigilant has a stab behind it, but observant, I'm observing. And I guess when I first started, I said you can be vibrant and vigilant. That's the way I was looking, like, oh, you can, you can be aware of things. You can be vibrant and aware of things, but not let them get to you.
Right.
But the word vigilant has got a big sting behind it.
Yeah, it's that undercurrent of I'm in danger and I have to stay alert to dodge the bullet, or to avoid,
alertly watching, especially to avoid danger.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but right there, that is the implication that there is danger. Starting to avoid danger, which says there's danger there.
Yeah, it's quite a as I keep looking at the word, I'm like, Jesus, jeepers.
Jeepers.
It's starting to make my eyes go a little bit cross-eyed. Vigilant. You spell it. But I know that you cannot stay vibrant 100% of the time. And I know you can't stay vigilant 100% of the time. And it's just about having that balance of both, is what I guess what you and I teach anyway.
Yeah.
So actually acknowledging and awareness, number one.
Awareness and trusting it and acknowledging, absolutely. But it's a wee bit like we talked about with our scale, right? Is that if vibrancy and vigilancy were two ends of the same spectrum, and kind of could be, right? So then it's like, just, well, where am I on this scale? And just, can I move? Can I shift? Can I just go, okay, I'm feeling a little bit nervous right now, so I'm maybe a way bit more closer to the vigilant type end of that spectrum, but it's okay.
Yeah, and that's that awareness, is you don't have to agree with it, you just acknowledge it. That's that whole, okay, well, that's what it is. I can feel myself being a little bit more vigilant, or I can feel myself being a little bit more vibrant. Oh, okay, I can see it. Well, that's interesting. I've just done an exercise I sent out to my team yesterday, my mentoring team, And it was around eating. So when you're eating something, what's the emotion that's coming up?
Mm.
And that's all it is. And they're like, well, I don't like this emotion if this comes up because I've eaten too much pasta and pizza and, I'm bloated, da, da, da. And they're like, I don't like this. I'm like, that's fine. You don't have to do anything with it, or you do, but it's just making you aware to go, oh, I recognize this. If I eat 10 tons of pizza and 10 tons of fizzy drink and pasta and whatever, nothing wrong with all those things, but maybe not in one sitting, I do get bloated and I do get this and I do get this. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine. That's all I need to do. So that's not, it's just making you aware of that. You don't have to agree with it, but your body's going to tell you you're going to agree with it. But what I'm thinking, so you're not going to be as, I was going to say vigilant with that. It's just that awareness is what I'm thinking. Although I'm saying if you're gluten-free, you are going to be 100% vigilant.
Yes.
On
to make sure that there's not there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I went away with a friend recently, and she is celiac, and it just unfolded so much. You can't touch this and you can't touch this, and the food has to be prepared. And I mean, I coach people with this, but I've never really gone down the delve of that. And there's so much so that you have to be vigilant on, because that's that point of no return potentially.
Right. But that's a very interesting way of thinking about vigilant, because of course that person has to be vigilant, but it's they're being vigilant in order to maintain their sense of vibrancy.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
So that's an interesting relationship with those two, because it's because that person matters and they are aware that there's a big price to pay if you.
Well, it actually turns into vigilant being good.
Yes. Yeah, it does. And that's what I'm saying to you, that it's actually, so that is all about the awareness. And then of course, and I've talked about this before too, is that awareness is one thing, but the acceptance has to come in too.
Yeah.
Acceptance, and you just said that, doesn't mean I'm going to do it the same way every time. And it doesn't mean I'm going to be this way or have to be vigilant on every single nuance all the time. But it's just, this is what it is right now. Is what it is.
Yeah. Right? Well, when we find someone who's vibrant, we tend to gel, because we see that our disowned parts. We gel towards people who have our disowned parts. When you see someone vibrant, you tend to go, oh, wow, I wish I was that. I wish I could wear purple and pink together. Like, wow, look at those two colors. Or, wow, she's 17, she's got her hair pink. Wow, look at that. I wish I could do that when I'm older. I don't. But, there is that little bit of thing. And that's that part of that vibrancy, because it attracts like-minded people, or people who want to be part of that train as such. And we know those people that are vibrant, and they do tend to dominate the conversation. I was to say that, because they've got their point and they just want to keep talking about it, and it's what lights them up. And when you're talking about something that lights you up, you just can't stop talking.
Right. And
so that's part of that vibrancy, is when you're talking and talking and talking, what keeps you vibrant. It's what's important to you, because you lit up.
Right. But just something that you said, when if you see somebody and who's vibrant and the person goes, oh, I wish I could do this, or I like to point out that it's not an I wish I could have that or could do this, because the truth is you do. If you see something, how it's said that if you see something in somebody else that pisses you off or irritates you, it's because you have that. Right. So it's like,
it's that one pointing.
Yeah.
When you point at someone, there's three fingers pointing at you.
Yeah. But the truth is that something that you get irritated or don't dislike doesn't necessarily mean you have the exact same thing, but it's triggered something. It's brought something up. Yeah. But the same is true for the things that you like. Yes. So if you walk into a room and you see somebody that's, wearing this designer thing and all the colors that you love, then you can do it, right? So it's like, That's why I just really encourage people to feel into it's not about getting envious, because when you see it, it means that you have the propensity, the capacity, and the ability to have it, to be it, to create it, to experience it, right?
Yes, and what I was just gonna, I love that you said that, because what you see in others is definitely within you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that transparency, reflection of seeing that. So when you see somebody who's creative and you go, oh, they're so creative, they've made this card and it's got glitter and it's beautiful, and you see that, and I mean, I do have that, oh wow. And then I go and then I look at myself and I go, okay, they're creative, where am I creative?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what Moira's just said. So it's about the part of, I may not be creative with glitter. Actually, funny I say that.
Because you are.
Because of what I talk about. It's my glitter. But where am I creative? And
Right.
that just takes you that ownership of that vibrancy. Where am I vibrant?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that person could be creative doing that task, but I'm creative in my own area. So not necessarily in the exact same area, but there's another, if you break that down,
Right.
just so people can't go, but I can't see that. I can't see that I like to draw or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, my creativity is definitely in my brain of let's strategize. People go, oh, would that work? Absolutely. I see it working.
Right. But I was just, as you were describing that, rather than somebody saying, like in your example about this person being really creative with their glitter.
Yeah.
And that awakens within me, oh, but here's my zone of genius in the creativity realms. Yeah. Then when you celebrate their creativity, you are actually celebrating yours too.
Mm.
And so then that comes into that thing we've talked before about what you appreciate appreciates. So the more you appreciate and go, wow, that is so awesome. I'm so honored to be in the company of something that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
You're actually, it's like it's turning the volume up of your own creative.
Get your creative juices going.
Yeah. And aspirations and inspiration and things of that nature, right?
I think, and you can tell with the people around you where you're sitting in vibrant or vigilant, because you've got the detectives who will go down the vigilant, let's just keep an eye on this and let's,
gotta keep an eye out. Gotta keep an eye out.
Yeah, that whole, and I squint my eyes like, what's going on?
There's something not quite right in here.
The music changes in those movies and you're like, oh, something's gonna
happen.
Like, what? Do I need to turn the big light on? Yep. But I think the thing with being vibrant and you know where your energy sits, because when you hang out with someone who's vibrant, you don't get drained. I find I don't get drained.
Yeah.
If you're both vibrant on the same topic, because if someone's talking about motor car racing and you're not, and they're vibrant, you're not going to be in that zone. So it's like-minded. You're talking about something like-minded. Like Moira and I, we get on this podcast and we talk.
Yeah.
We're definitely vibrant.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think the thing is, look at your circle, who you're around, and if you would like to be more vibrant about certain things, look at your circle. That's definitely what it is. What can you do that's going to up-level you?
Yep, absolutely. And that's a really good point too. I was doing a write-up earlier today for a group session that I've got coming up, and I was talking all about decluttering. So, so sometimes if you're not feeling, aligned with your creativity or your own vibrancy, then maybe it's time to start being selective with the people you hang out with.
Yeah.
With even if it means sometimes being more on your own because it feels better that way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying fire all your friends, but I'm just saying check in. And is it time to sort of say, no, I don't need to hang out with that person anymore or as much as I have in the past. If there's an energy drain or if they're super vigilant. I actually have a really hard time being around people who are super, super vigilant, just because I feel safe and grounded and happy. And so somebody that's going, oh my God, something bad's going to happen, something like that, I'm like, shift away from that, thanks.
It's funny because my mother was a private investigator and a detective from way back, and one of the things was she did store security. So she did store security, and I also became a store security officer, even right up till 2 weeks before giving birth. I would stick my tummy out and go, you're not going to push a pregnant woman to get through this door.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Of course, nowadays I would rethink things probably a little bit differently. Probably, I definitely would. But when I think about that, vigilant is something for me. My friends stopped going to the shopping malls with me because I would literally walk around and I'll be fine. I'll be looking in shops and then I go, oh, that person's going to steal.
Right.
Or that person's watching young girls. Or, oh, that person's,
right.
And my friends actually stopped going to shopping malls with me, and I couldn't figure it out. And so I just know I was 100% vigilant on that. Also, if I went to an event, I would be watching who's by the door, where's people's handbags, are they open? Do we need to go tell them to shut that because someone's constantly looking at that? And so I would get onto that, and I'd call it a little bit of psychoness, which because I would be looking behind my head going,
being suspicious all the time. Yeah.
And I was vigilant to handbags and people, just because that's what I'd grown up with, of being aware of people and body language and things like that. So then it just transformed. But my friends wouldn't go to the shopping malls with me because I was so vigilant on that person's going to steal. And they're like, no, they're not. And then they'd literally just look at that same time somebody stole and they'd be like, oh, Deborah, we can't do this with you anymore.
Yeah.
and so being extra vigilant just did impact my friend circle.
Yeah. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, and so we're talking about, check at your circle, but also you could be the one.
You could. Yeah.
We might need to fire you as a friend, because I don't know how they put up with me all the time. I was forever following people into toilets and doing all sorts. That sounds dodgy. Following people into toilets and just checking out what's going on. But I was extra vigilant, more than some people. And I'd say to people, I'm just watching that person. They go, oh God, who? What person? Oh, I didn't even see that.
Right.
Or did you see that person run past? No, what? Just because I'd had it trained into me, I would say. So that impacted main thing is I was the problem.
Yeah. And so that was good self-awareness, though. It took a while. Yeah, problem, quotation marks. But the other thing that I was thinking of as you were saying that too is that sometimes people in their adult life are even hyper-vigilant, because if they have experienced abuse or had alcoholic parents or things of that nature, that as children it sometimes gets imprinted of, oh my God, the door opening means I'm going to get yelled at, or what things of that nature. And so
taking his belt off. Yeah,
exactly.
I laugh at that. I remember that in my house. I was like, oh, Dad's taking his belt off. What does that mean? No. Means he's taking his belt off and change his jeans or whatever. Yeah.
Right. But I'm bringing that into our conversation just simply because if that is what's going on, then I really encourage any listener that has that kind of background or trigger, get some help, speak it out. There are so many different approaches to actually honor it, acknowledge it, and release it. That it doesn't need to be the way forward, right?
And I was just going to say, and it doesn't have to be painful.
Yeah, truly.
Sometimes we often sit in our, your actions don't have to be painful, was what I say. So often we go, oh, it's better to stay in this relationship, or it's better to stay in
just
this
the comfort zone. Yes. I
or
might as well. This is all I know.
yeah, yeah, or I have to wait till my kids grow up.
Yeah. No.
What you're showing your children is different. Yeah. So there's a lot of those things. So I think yeah. I'll just think of
the thing is, if when you get into that type of thinking, that or particularly I'll stay here and because of the kids, what people don't understand is you're actually educating your children to stay in something that's not working. And because even if you speak to them, they're
not stupid.
No, gosh, no.
Oh, we try and hide it, and we only argue at night time.
Yeah.
What, do you go down to the back shed and you have a full-on, and you're in a soundproof booth, and then you argue, really? And then do you think they don't know the tension that's in the air?
Precisely, the tension and the vibe. It's like you don't. Yeah.
He's coming to the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. So that is such an important piece, because it's always about, are you showing the people around you how to be vibrant? Or are you getting stuck in the, it's okay, this is just my bit, this is where I am?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So doesn't the transition from vigilant to vibrant doesn't have to be painful?
No. And you deserve it. The other thing is, you do deserve it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Vigilant is a bit of a stuck energy, and that's closer to the 10, by the way. Right?
Yeah, it's definitely and so when you're vibrant, this is when you as a person, when you're vibrant is when you don't have those addictive behaviors, I'm going to say, because you're actually fulfilled and inspired and alive and awake, and
you smile easily.
Yeah, your shoulders are back, and when people pass things to you, you just handle them.
Yeah.
And do more of that vibrancy, do more of that pick me up. And I'm not saying have a shot of tequila and it gives you that short-term fix, that sugar fix, but vibrancy comes naturally when you're in flow.
Yeah. Yes, it's because vibrancy comes from when you've found your sense of yes. You know how yes sits at your heart. It is elevating. It does, put your shoulders back and help you open at your heart, and you feel, and like, we still do have things that a spanner gets thrown in the works, and whoops, I have to deal with this, or there's a delay over here and I have to deal with this. But that doesn't rob your vibrancy. It's just this is just taking a little bit longer than I thought at first, but it's all good because this is still feeding me and feeling in alignment with my sense of yes, my sense of peace. Right?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, the old 4 agreements.
Yeah. And that comes up so often in these conversations.
And this is a great one, is don't take things personally.
Truly.
If you're vibrant, people go, tone it down. You can't tone it down. Yep. I've heard that many times in my lifestyle, constantly to me. You can't wear that. Don't speak out of turn. Children are meant to be seen and not heard. And yes, I did grow up with that a little bit. Apparently, I don't know. If I actually don't recall ever doing it.
Didn't listen to them. Didn't listen to them anyway.
But those don't take things personally. You've had 2 things that are bad. Things come in 3s.
Oh.
And it's
the good things do too.
People don't often say that. They're like, things come in 3s. It's usually that negative. But so everyone has their own stories. And it's just that they're trying to pass their stories on to you. Yes. So don't take things personally. Just acknowledge them, that they are their ancestral stories.
Yep.
That's their stuff that they've attached to them. Let them keep them.
They can have their story. Everybody can have their story. But that's the other part too, is to recognize
agree
it's
with
just
your
a
story.
story.
Yeah.
It's a story. Oh, whoops, it's a story.
And as soon as you acknowledge that, you know, you go, oh, okay. Then you jump into the vibrant mode because it's not attaching to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's that don't take things personally was just the big one around this, because we can go, oh, things come in threes, or oh, I remember my boyfriend saying this to me, or I remember my mum saying this, or teacher, and next thing you know, you've jumped into their quotation mark story, and you've attached it.
You know, I think I've talked to you before about this, about when I had a broken arm, that everybody that I came across at that time wanted to tell me about their broken limb story.
I know that
and I'm
stuff.
like, okay, I'm dealing with my arm.
Well, it's like when you're pregnant, people give you advice on giving birth, and the people who give advice are sometimes the people who've never even given birth.
Yes.
You know, they're the ones that you're just left with. Okay, you want to give me advice on my business, but you've actually been working for someone for 30 years.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll listen to you. You know, I'm going to come to you for marketing because you're totally my target market. No.
Actually, I had had a conversation with somebody who really wanted me to do marketing by their model, but it was so not integrous with me. It didn't align with me, and I kind of like, but this person got really offended when I said.
I was just going to say, how did they handle it? So
they got super offended. And I like, but again, so that was take things personally, going both ways.
Yeah.
Right.
But it is that whole thing, and don't take things personally is definitely a great one. Well, I mean, all the four
agreements. Yeah.
All
being impeccable with your word.
Yes.
Don't make assumptions.
If you're impeccable with your word, are you vibrant or are you vigilant?
Yes. Just assess.
Yes. You're sitting in that. What's the other ones?
Don't make assumptions.
Oh yeah. See, I only remember the two. Don't take things personally. don't make assumptions. Yeah. So that's if you're making assumptions, you're sitting in vigilant.
You absolutely are. Yep. And you're making up a story. Yeah,
you're making up a crazy ass story that may. What's the fourth one?
The fourth one is always do your best.
Yeah. So is that vibrant or vigilant? So
definitely vibrant. Always do your best is always the vibrancy of that day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the four. They do seem to come into nearly every single
one.
They
do. They totally align with what we talk about, don't they?
But I find them. Well, I'd say the don't take things personally is probably the hardest that people
really
find.
I'd agree with that, because that's the think about people pleasing. So because we all have it to one degree or another.
Up to that.
Yes, got to keep these people happy.
Somebody because they got upset because you took the last cake, and you have to say sorry. Like, well, why do I have to say so? Oh, yeah, I remember.
And so that then kind of leads it into taking things personally. As like, well, somebody's yelling at me. Oh, it's because I did something wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. It's just because somebody's yelling. That's it.
Yep, that's your story. Yep. Wow. So are you vibrant or vigilant? And this is going down the path. I wrote some notes, but I don't know how I've done very well with these ones today.
This has been an interesting one. We can go through. So I did make some notes. Hopefully we can recap some of the key points.
So if you didn't grab your pen and paper at the start, make sure you've got ink in your pen. You can have ink in your biro.
Or lead in your pencil.
Yeah, lead in your pencil. And I've got my pencil in front of me, my lead and my pencil. So let's kick these off with number one.
Number one's always where we start, is awareness.
Number one, exactly. Number one's the same.
Yeah.
Awareness.
Yeah.
And I've written down just the vigilant is those ancestral stories. That's what I've written down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I caught that. The next tip I had written down was about trust. That when you're being vigilant, you're not trusting. And when you're being vibrant, you are completely trusting. And so it's just, that's another part of awareness and accepting, where are you? What's going on?
And I think, and I'm just going to go, now that she said trust, and, trust and surrender to me can be different things, but I'm just jumping in here. I'm just saying that is that trust and surrender. You don't have to surrender to anything.
No.
If you're trusting something, you have full trust. You don't see yourself as surrendering. You just see it as trust, and there's a belief and there's a certainty around it. Just because when you just said trust, then I went to the other word, whatever the other word was. I'm having a mental brain fart right now. Surrender. Yeah. Yeah. So when you said trust, I just went to, oh, you're surrendering. And I went, no, you're not. You actually have 100% trust. You don't even need to think about the label surrendering. It's just complete trust.
But surrender is surrender to me is trust. It's like I don't need to get into my head or listen to stories or listen to other people. I just given all that up because
I just trust it.
Just trust it and flow. Yeah. So go ahead.
I was just saying, the next one I've actually written down is vibrant, and then I've got not getting envious.
Ah, good. Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, and so that's
because that was going from the what we see in others as a reflection.
Yes.
Yeah, because we can sometimes get envious of, oh, that person's way better at this than me.
That person's creative. It's like, no, you're creative as well. You just might not be able to decorate a tree like they can.
Yeah. And so that leading on from that one, I made a note of just saying celebrate others' gifts, because basically you're celebrating yours when you do that.
Yes.
Right? And it up levels it all. It's kind of beautiful payback there.
Yeah. I love that. And it is celebrate. Yeah. And when you're celebrating, you're actually sitting in vibrancy.
You are very vibrant when you're celebrating. Yes. Yeah. And you're trusting too. When you're celebrating, you're trusting that everything's in flow, everything's in harmony and balanced in my life, right?
Yeah. Perfect. The next one, is it my tip or your tip?
I think so. Do you have another one?
So mine is look at your circle.
Ah, yes, that was a good one.
Look at your circle, but also you could be the problem.
Yeah, it could be you.
You know how we had a little bit of awareness at the start. So look at your circle and don't be afraid to let people evolve their own way. Yeah. You can't push that.
Recognize that we are all on our path and evolving our right way. Yeah. I like that. The other part that I just referenced was about the hypervigilant idea that if you had experiences of like an abusive upbringing or alcoholic parents, that could be dictating or wiring some of the way you look at things. And so if that's the case, then reach out for help. Be aware of it. Of course, this is coming back into that awareness and acceptance part again, right?
Yeah.
And so if you need to ask for help, there's so many wonderful resources. Of course, Debz and Moira provide resources in this area also.
I know someone else who can help you with that.
Yes.
Yeah. And just on that, I'm just going to say 3 words. It's not painful.
Right. Yes.
We often think that doing any mindset work, it's not running a marathon with no practice.
That's right.
You don't need to.
And if it's painful, it means that you haven't found your pace. And so it means you maybe do a reset or slow it down or speed it up or whatever it is that fits right for you. Yeah.
So it's not painful, but Moira and I are here waiting, holding our breath, waiting for you to contact us. Yeah. The next one I've got is it comes naturally when in flow. And that's just, if you feel yourself going upstream, like the fish going up. Well, actually, fish do go upstream, don't they?
Some of them do, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So if you feel like you're swimming upstream, not a fish, going with the flow, but if you feel like you're actually out of flow, it's not natural. So then just stop and pivot and just reassess. That's all it is.
There's another one of your favorite words. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other piece that we brought into the last part I have written here is about we brought the 4 agreements into our conversation because the don't take things personally. It's not all about you. But then we kind of riffed on the idea that all 4 agreements are very appropriate in the are you vibrant or vigilant? Because when you're vibrant, you're impeccable with your word. You don't make assumptions. You don't take things personally, and you recognize that you're always doing your best. So when things go a bit more to the vigilant, then you can start taking things personally or making assumptions, and right.
And it just keeps you in that. We talked about the 0 to 10 at the check-in at the start. This is keeping you in the 0s, 1s, and 2s.
Absolutely.
And the vigilant is the other end of the scale. Yeah. I just pulled out my 4 agreements cards because I just love those.
I do too. I have my deck sitting over there too. I love them.
Why they're actually in a drawer. I literally pull them out every day. I might just make room for them in my desk. Every day, literally go in there.
Yeah.
And between those and your beautiful cards.
Well, thank you.
What are yours? Yours are your
the compassion card, blended compassion cards. Yes, got a new deck coming out soon.
Can't wait. So is there anything else to wrap this up? Are you vibrant or vigilant?
I think basically to that question, the answer is yes.
Okay, because we could definitely
we can dance between, and I think it's a really good piece to just really encourage our listeners to allow themselves to be the observed and the observer, and check in with themselves with compassion. And actually what you just said about the flowing upstream and is like, if you're going against something and it starts to feel really efforty, give yourself the gift to just press pause for a moment, even if it's just put your hand over your heart and take a few deep breaths and see, where is the thing that lights me up right now?
Yeah,
that would be my sort of send-off tip on this conversation.
Yeah. And my send-off tip is everything passes.
Yeah, that's a good one too. This too shall pass.
Yeah. Just that. It goes, okay. Wow. Okay. So are you vibrant or vigilant? We are now just going to check in on our numbers to see where we were. What were you at the start? I was a 2. What were you?
You were a 2. I was a 1.5.
Okay. So where are you now sitting, Moira?
I would say I'm a 0.
Yeah.
A vibrant 0.
Yeah. I'm going to say a 0.5. Just because I'm going to look over my notes after this and go, oh, what else is there? What else is there? Because I just feel there's more. There's more. There's more. There's more.
There's always more.
There's more. I know that.
Yeah.
So let us know where you were, because, no matter what number you were, our intention is to bring you close to that 0. Did we do that? Did you learn lots today?
Yeah. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, you're welcome to private message us, or you're welcome to put it into we have a Facebook page as well, or any of our social media. You can jump on there. But please reach out to us if you feel this has triggered something in any way. And even if it's the trigger can be a positive, but it can also be a negative.
Yeah.
So if there's any little trigger in there to go, oh, actually, I want to know more about that, or help me up level that, please reach out to Moira or myself, because that's what we do. And we do sit in that vibrant. We love it.
We do. Absolutely.
So if you liked today, if there's aspects of today you liked, or there was just a few tips that you liked, or even all of them, we would love you to share this. If you could share this with those you care about, those you thought about, those who are vibrant or vigilant, or just random strangers. Just say,
hey, you need to listen to this.
Just share it. Just share it. That's all. That's all. Yeah.
Yep.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us on our deliciously motivated mindset conversation. We will see you next time.
Next time.
Thank you,
Awesome.
listeners, and thank you, Moira, and thank you, Internet.
Absolutely. Thank you, dear Deb. Thank you, listeners. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.